Vayisa Avraham et einav, vayar et hamakom merachok. And Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place from a distance. Okay, now I may be going a little bit out of the comfort zones here. I try to not get too mystical and multidimensional here. But, there are different understandings of these words. But they can all be true at the same time. And it's really interesting that learning all of them can provide this new dimension that each one by itself wouldn't provide. So let me explain what I'm saying. Don't get too intimidated by that preface. So the word that's used in the text for the place is makom, which means place. Saw the place from a distance. Now, there are those who say that the usage of the word the place is an allusion to Jacob. For as we know, just 6 chapters down the road, Jacob vayivga Yaakov b'makom. Jacob stumbled upon the place. And Abraham, this was an allusion to Jacob, and Abraham was foreseeing Jacob, right? He saw Jacob from a distance. He simply could not understand how just the day before, Hashem promised him that in Yitzchak will be called your seed, meaning that Yitzchak will inherit him. And now, Hashem, you're telling me to sacrifice my son Yitzchak before he even has any children? How is that even possible? Hashem's internal logic seemed to be falling apart. I mean, Avram had to doubt himself. Is he losing his mind, or are these really voices he's hearing? So this opinion is conveying that when it says he saw the place from a distance, it was saying that he saw the Jacob issue, that irreconcilable contradiction within his command to sacrifice Isaac, and he saw it at a distance, meaning he simply distanced it from his mind and moved forward with simple faith. Vayaratama, he saw the Jacob issue, distanced it from his mind. He didn't need to understand it or make sense of it. He distanced the question itself from his mind. Now, the second explanation that Rav Biederman shared here really touched me deeply. Now, remember, we're back on that same verse. Vayarat hamakom, and he saw the place from the distance. The word hamakom is a reference here to Hashem himself, right? Which is not hard to believe at all, for we know that the word hamakom is one of the names of Hashem. We've talked about this in many past fellowships, a reference to the place, right? The ultimate place of the world. And that when the verse says that he saw the place, meaning Hashem from a distance, it's telling us that at that moment, Hashem removed from Avraham his advanced levels that he was at of clarity and of faith. And all of a sudden, he saw Hashem from a distance, right? He no longer perceived Hashem. All of a sudden, he didn't know what was happening. He didn't perceive Hashem as close or as near or as clear to him. We all know that, that as they viewed Mount Moriah from a distance, it was covered with this heavy layer of dark clouds. And these clouds were not just physical. These were clouds of doubt and confusion that Hashem thrust upon Abraham. Confusion about how Isaac would carry on the lineage if he were to have children, if he didn't have children yet. And now he was going to be sacrificed. Confusion about where Hashem all of a sudden disappeared to and why he couldn't feel him anymore, sense him anymore. And confusion about why he had spent his entire life's mission and purpose teaching the world about a God of loving kindness who is repulsed and disgusted by the very popular practice at the time of child sacrifice. And now he was being asked to sacrifice his own child, meaning negating not only his physical lineage, but also the truth of his message, his very self. And and it was exactly this confusion, this paradoxical irrationality that made this the ultimate test, because none of it made any sense to Abraham. And the only way he could pass was by flexing this muscle of emunah pshuta, simple faith.